my friend and I were just talking about this the other day, and what you said about how you felt like you were wanted to end your life. It seems like this country, because we're so trying to be capitalists, if you're not a productive part of the society, you're considered, you should keep that a secret, kind of a thing. Like, you're not being productive, and that keeps people keeping it a secret rather than asking for help and not being ostracized. Do you feel like if you would have been able to come forward before you decided to come forward, would you have had the same thoughts, or was it actually based in pure chemical depression, or like support might have been helpful?
I remember saying for the first time, "Hi, my name is Rahul, and I'm an alcoholic." I remember it leaving my lips and knowing I was never ever going to be able to take that back.
Mm.
And like, it was out in the universe, and everyone's gonna know that I'm an alcoholic. And oh my God, like, how does prep school kid, Indian kid, like, what are we have this thing in our community, in a lot of communities, what are other people gonna think? Like, that's just like, you're done. Like, that's, alcoholics were for Black Medicaid population living in the gutters of inner cities, like, not you, right? And I think that that's like that with so almost every mental illness. People I love have bipolar disorder and still suffering from. Others are suffering from addiction, and they only have 3 Chardonnays a night. It's a lot. I mean, but that's or weekend alcoholics. There's just all this stuff, and I think I probably started connecting more and being more free when I was able to say it and not give a shit. Like, and that came with my success, though. Like, I can tell you, I'm going to be very open with you. Like, I was rising in the ranks in healthcare and being put up on stage, and I was actually wanting to say it at these conferences that had 3,000, 4,000 people in the audience. Like, I wanted to go up one time and say, "Hey, my name's Rahul Dubey, and I'm an alcoholic," and launch from there. See what the reaction was. And I was actually told not to by some people close to me, because that stigma, because I was rising. You're here in DC, you don't share your vulnerabilities. Yeah. You don't share that at all. Like, your review, when you're sitting down, they might be like, "Oh, but he's an alcoholic and he can relapse," or he must, or any kind of cognitive bias because a family member was an alcoholic. You don't know. And I think one of the things that COVID has done has helped us empathize with each other, and to be able to, because of, we know what loneliness is, we know what isolation is, we know what anxiety is. It forced us to the point where we had to be able to raise our hand and say, "Hey, I'm not doing so well. Is anyone else not doing well?" And what happened was, just boom, everyone started saying how awful they're doing. And in that came some joy, came some peace. And I think we can ride that wave moving forward. Like, literally, this not in a funny way, we're all really dysfunctional and fucked up in our own right, stemming from our parents, or stemming from society, or stemming from something. But we have to be willing to admit that, and like, look at that. And I value that. I absolutely value the dysfunction in the diverse group of people that I surround myself with, that we're driving, this human capitalistic approach to generating revenue and then distributing that to education and healthcare and infrastructure and all those things. I'm able to do that in Colombia through a model of love, right? Because I'm able to say that I'm not perfect, that I don't know what I'm doing, that I'm here out of my element, and you have the tribal knowledge. And so I'm surrendering to you. So I hope that we're there. I hope it doesn't turn into this self-help guru stuff that's been going on for a while. Technology's made that very easy. I think a lot of people are getting kind of trying to fit themselves into a box. And I think that it's the best way we can go doing it is, one, if you're on any sort of chemical dependency, you're not going to be able to get through. You got to get rid of that. And that's only going to happen when you're ready. But then the other is, who you run with and who you listen to is everything. It's absolutely everything. And like I've been fortunate enough to kind of procure this amazing group of people around me. That's the only reason why I am who I am. It's the only reason why I've been able to open my door, build a farm, have a garment factory and a shoe company and an art gallery in Colombia in a language I don't even speak. I don't even speak Spanish, right? So it's all from being able to really just be myself and have people accept you for that. I mean, it's ironic. I did my communications paper in college on P.T. Barnum. I was fascinated by the circus and like how, and then him, and like, you know, it's always the underdog and it's always kind of the outlier and the rebel. And you know, I just saw this and I was like, man, he just got this band of misfits together and put them under a parachute tent and people came. And it was just like conviction and saw the beauty in diversity. And I teach my son that and anyone else that's around that the number one thing you can be is not smart, but surround yourself with diverse people and the intelligence will come.
I love so much about that. Yeah, and like I've spent years, you know, writing and editing in the health space, and I feel like just only recently, like since COVID and everything, we're starting to scratch the surface in terms of allowing people to talk openly, you know, about mental health and like how you're feeling, and you know, destigmatizing. And it's still, I think there's still a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, so it's amazing to be able to open that up, I think, but there's also like, I will get, not in an annoying way, but I'll reach out to a friend and just be like, hey, how you holding up? Right? Like, just, I hadn't heard from you in 3 days. You sounded down last time we chatted. I'm here. Like, it allows us to like enter into that personal space. And we have to. It's not just building an app and an awareness and like saying, hey, I'm struggling. Like, I need to pay attention to my friends. I need to know when my friend is, you know, there's daydreaming and then there's bipolar mania. And I need to like, and I can tell in the voice and I can see in the eyes. And even if they're not next to me, there's a video call that's coming once every 2 weeks so I can see my friend. And I know that people did that when, you know, I was early sobriety, they'd stop by. And some wasn't to just judge and check on me. They wanted to just see how I was doing, right? And that helped me accountable for a little bit. And I don't care, like, you can bitch and complain that, you know, it's my life and it's my personal stuff. Well, it's like, I love you and you're messing up. So it gives us that permission to look out for one another, I think. And that's something that I hope carries. Like, if you love someone and you are feeling weird about reaching out to them to ask them how they're doing because you don't want them to feel insecure that they have to be checked on, we need to get over that quickly. And like, no, love's like, that's just an act of love. If it's coming from a great place of love, then do it. If it's coming to putting me a thorn in someone's side, don't do that. Like, that's petty. My mom does. Like, you know, just, and then like ruins the day. And then she tells me she loves me and we try to mend that. And that's as complicated as it gets. But like, I think if you're coming from a good place, and it doesn't have to be someone you love, it's a stranger. I dropped off a water on the corner. This guy was hanging out by a telephone pole and just put it by his feet. That's, if he gets offended by that, then, you know, so be it. It's not on me.